3 sections: defending, attacking, evading. What should you do after a successful Miguel Mini Combo, or MMC for short? First off, understand that it's largely based on conditioning. The answer to this question requires building a mental database of how your opponent reacts to pressure. Do they easily get frustrated? Are they patient? How often does your opponent make judgment errors in the heat of battle? Or better yet, what would you do if you were put in that situation? Maybe we should attack immediately to continue pressure, or utilize evasive or defensive options in anticipation of a wake-up attack. Let's talk about it. The safest solution seems to be to respect the opponent's wake-up attempt and punish. However, there are problems with this strategy. By choosing to defend, you voluntarily relinquish your turn. Expose yourself to a plethora of offensive mix-up options. Builds your opponent's mental database of a reserved playstyle, causing them to disrespect and interrupt your offense more often during the match. Defending a mid-kick means you can punish for a measly 14 points of damage. A low kick is also -12, which means you can punish with a pitiful while standing 4. Even worse, defending means you may block a spring-up tackle, leaving you vulnerable to being floated by a 10-frame punch. A toe kick or spring kick is more punishable, but the overarching idea is that you don't want to be under a mix-up condition from the opponent you successfully knocked down. Doing the Miguel Mini Combo doesn't offer guaranteed follow-ups, and a grounded defender can interrupt any follow-up attempt. Attacks after an MMC are risky and should only be done when you've properly conditioned your opponent to respect your offense. Only after you've convinced them that the safest option is to remain on the ground and take a hit. With these reads, a follow-up attack and potentially a counter-hit attack can be very effective. This move will hit all grounded maneuver attempts. It isn't guaranteed versus an opponent that stands back up, but it is uninterruptible, which means they have to respect it. Against wake-up kicks, it trades, and it loses to toe kicks and spring kicks. These factors mean that Savage Down Back +3 should only be used if you're sure they aren't going to attempt a wake-up attack, and you'll believe they'll elect to remain on the ground. If this is the case, then you'll add a nice chunk of damage and additional pressure to the MMC. This is inferior to the Savage Down Back +3 option in nearly every way, except for one important feature. This kick is 1 frame faster than Savage Down Back +3, which means it will counter-hit either wake-up kick. This is important because with a hard read, you have the added prep time to include a subsequent 4 forward +2-1 for a face splat knockdown. With the addition of Savage Down 4 +2, this means you will get a minimum additional 60 points of damage on top of the 37 to 39 damage MMC. Considering this enormous amount of added damage with the additional follow-up pressure gained after a Savage Down 4 +2 makes this a worthy consideration against a wake-up kick from a hard read. Another great option against wake-up kicks. This natural combo will counter-hit either wake-up kicks and leave your opponent standing. Even though Miguel is negative after the second kick, he retains mental frame pressure. It also serves the previous section in that the first kick hits grounded, so only use the first kick if you want to reduce the risk and or you're in a situation where it will be enough to kill the opponent. First kick hits grounded and the string is uninterruptible versus a standing opponent, so they have to block correctly. Consider the mix-up potential as well. Note that in battle, the second hit often connects successfully even after the first kick is blocked. No attack in Miguel's move list can challenge the toe kick from this situation. Even Miguel's fastest mid and his quickest low can be interrupted with a toe kick. However, it's okay to go for a recommended option under wake-up maneuvers and wake-up kicks in this scenario. This is because it is largely inconsequential to be hit by the 5 to 6 point damage kick with no subsequent frame advantage after, so the reward of a different response outweighs the risk of a successful recovery kick. Having said that, if you are sure a recovery kick is coming, then do not attempt to attack immediately after an MMC. Instead, use the suggestions in the following section. A hard read on a spring kick after an MMC should automatically summon a charged Savage 1 +2 from every Miguel player. This will absorb the hit and activate True Punish for monster damage potential. An added caveat is the fact that if you visually see that your read was incorrect, you can reduce the risk by canceling the move with the back button. Against these unique spring attacks, the Savage 1+2 will cause the characters to land with their back towards you, allowing for the possibility of resets. Try a sidestep right if you have a read that the opponent will do a wake up attack. This is a great way to avoid any risk and set up extremely damaging combos against an overzealous opponent. If you do a sidestep right, then the opponent cannot hit you after being hit by an MMC. All wake up attacks will whiff. You then have time to do many of Miguel's launchers and punish them during their recovery frames. Both wake up kicks and recovery kicks will whiff after sidestep right. You have a large window of 52 frames against a whiffing wake-up kick to sidestep and perform your desired punish. I'd estimate around a 30-frame window to punish opponents after the sidestep. It's best to option select with a mid punisher since highs will whiff a wake-up mid-kick. For a toe kick, you have the window of 48 frames to sidestep and punish your opponent. Even though the window is smaller, you are able to confidently use highs as a punish, since within the punish window is still active as the opponent is standing. Near the wall, use Savage 2 or Savage 1-4 if you have the read on a wake up or recovery kick. The follow-up options against the wall makes it a better choice. Spring kicks will whiff entirely, allowing you to float the opponent. Keep in mind that spring kicks have wacky or inconsistent hitboxes, so laterally avoiding them is the best option. You want to prioritize sidestep right over sidestep left. Here's why. Spring attacks have better tracking to the right. Sidestep right gives better access to your opponent's back. An open space is worthy to consider setting up a reset combo after a sidestep. Both a back +3 reset as well as a face flat knockdown reset is possible. You also want to prioritize using a homing move when performing a follow-up attack to avoid whiffing against a spring attack in progress. You can choose a sidestep right, but a sidewalk is recommended. Sidewalk right puts you in a better angle to flip the opponent over during the down 4+1. The same reset setups can be used for the other spring attack variations. There's a smaller success window against King's twisting kick-up. You have to delay and be precise with your timing. The back +3 setup is easier to pull off in this situation than the face flat knockdown. Above both of these options, it is recommended to use the charged Savage 1+2 setup against a hard read as outlined in the attacking section, or a nuclear option select as described later on in the tutorial. Keep in mind that sidestepping in general causes you to lose your turn if the opponent decides to stand back up. A nuclear option select is to sidestep right, then Savage down back +3, which will hit all ground technique responses. Attacking, rolling, and do nothing. They have to respect this combination by getting up normally, thereby relinquishing a turn and defending against the sweep. Now this is a hidden bonus scroll I have for you fine young ladies and gentlemen. If you want to style on your opponent and look cool after stepping a spring kick, then do a side walk right into delayed back down 4+4. If you hit this at just the right moment, then the move will leave you at the opponent's back, allowing you to do any high move 13 frames or faster, or any mid move 14 frames or faster. So, do whatever the hell you want. The best way to know if you succeeded in the setup against a default spring kick is if the camera angles switch. In general, you will also know you succeeded if the opponent's back is facing you. This is true against Eddie and King's spring kicks as well. Consider the situation with the knowledge that you have a plethora of guaranteed moves and strings to choose from. If the opponent is near a wall, you might want to use a Savage 1-4 to score a wall bounce. If you want to continue pressure, then use Savage back +1-4 or down forward 1-1. Lastly, back down forward +4 is included in the option select category. because it still functions as an anti-wake up attack when paired with a sidestep right similar to Savage Down Back +3.